She said it like it was a trendy idea she'd picked up from social media. "My best friend thinks we should open the marriage," my wife said one night, scrolling on her phone. "It's modern, healthy, honest." I laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. We'd been married 9 years, built routines, built trust, built what I thought was a solid life. "I'm not into that," I said. "If you want other people, just say so." She smiled too quickly. "Relax. I'm just talking." That was my first mistake, believing the conversation ended there. Her best friend started showing up more often after that. Long visits, wine nights, closed-door conversations. I'd walk into a room and the air would change, like I'd interrupted something important. They called it female bonding. I called it strange. Still, I didn't push. I trusted my wife. I trusted my marriage. Trust, I learned, is expensive. The late nights came next. Girls' trips. Work dinners. Phone always face down. Password suddenly changed. When I asked, I was told I was being controlling. Her best friend was always there to reinforce it. "You're lucky she's honest with you," she told me once, smirking. "Most men couldn't handle a confident woman." I didn't know then that she was coaching my wife, encouraging her, feeding her the language to justify betrayal before it even happened. When my wife finally admitted she'd slept with someone else, she framed it like a favor. "I was going to tell you," she said. "That's the point of openness." I felt my chest hollow out. "We never agreed to this," I said quietly. Her best friend rolled her eyes. "You don't own her." That was the moment I understood. This wasn't confusion. This was orchestration. I didn't explode. I didn't storm out. I did something far more dangerous. I listened. I watched the lies pile up. I watched her best friend encourage more meetings, more risks, more secrets. I watched my wife change. Less guilt, more entitlement. Then came the test. She stood in the bathroom doorway one morning, shaking. "I'm pregnant," she said. The room spun. She rushed to explain, words tumbling over each other. "I don't know who the father is yet, but we can figure this out. Together. Together." Her best friend hugged her, glaring at me like I was the problem. "That's what happens in open marriages," she said. "You need to step up." Something inside me went cold and perfectly clear. I didn't argue. I didn't accuse. I simply nodded and said, "We'll do this the right way." They thought they'd won. They had no idea the game had changed. I scheduled appointments, asked calm questions, started documenting everything. Messages where the best friend encouraged cheating, voice notes mocking me, plans they'd made assuming I'd stay and pay. I spoke to a lawyer before I spoke another word to my wife. I learned my options. I learned my rights. I learned how quickly open marriage collapses under legal scrutiny when only one person agreed to it. The DNA test came back. Not mine. I didn't tell her right away. Instead, I prepared. I separated finances quietly, redirected my paycheck, opened new accounts, canceled joint cards. I documented her admission of infidelity and the coercion behind it. Then I invited them both over. My wife was nervous. Her best friend was smug. I placed the DNA results on the table. Silence fell hard. My wife stared at the paper, color draining from her face. You tested already?" "Yes," I said, "because I live in reality." Her best friend scoffed. "So what? He can still raise the kid." I slid the next stack forward. Divorce papers, financial separation, evidence packets. Her smile vanished. "You encouraged her to cheat," I said, looking directly at the best friend. "You manipulated, coached, and mocked, and you assumed I'd fund the outcome." I stood up. "That ends today." My wife cried. Real crying. Panic crying. She begged. Apologized. Blamed confusion. Hormones. Pressure. I listened without reacting. Then I said the only thing that mattered. "You didn't just cheat. You replaced our marriage with your friend's approval. The house went on the market the next week. I moved out first, on my terms. She couldn't afford it alone. Her best friend didn't offer to help. The affair partner vanished the moment responsibility appeared. The pregnancy stopped being romantic when rent and reality showed up. Her best friend tried to spin the story, told people I abandoned a pregnant wife. I released the truth quietly. Screenshots, timelines, facts. The narrative collapsed. They stopped talking. Months later, I ran into her best friend at a cafe. She looked away. No confidence left, no speeches. My ex-wife sent one last message. "She ruined everything," she wrote. I didn't reply. She hadn't been ruined by her friend. She'd been revealed. I learned something important through all of it. Cheating doesn't start in bedrooms. It starts when someone gives permission to disrespect a marriage. When outside voices matter more than vows. Revenge doesn't have to be cruel. Sometimes it's just refusing to carry consequences that were never yours to begin with. They wanted an open marriage. What they got was a closed chapter, and a future they had to face alone.